What's the best law school that you can go to? Chances are that you may be in the wrong one. Hi, welcome to the Law Simplified. I'm Shraveen Bandaranaike. There are many times when either my fast track or masterclass students come up to me and tell me that they regret the decision they made in joining a very particular law school. They would either tell me perhaps 3 to 6 months in, or at some instances 2 to 3 years in their final year as well, that they wish they had selected differently. But immediately subsequent to that, when I asked them which law school or which university they would have chosen had they been given a second chance, very rarely do I hear a response. The reason for this is their very selection. The requirement of going into law school was fulfilled not by doing one's own research or analysis, but because someone else, perhaps a friend or a colleague, had recommended it, or they've simply seen the usual marketing guff online. Whenever I hear this from any student, be it through my masterclass program or the comments that I see on a daily basis on this very YouTube channel, what I realize is that you failed your very first test as a law student. In fact, the very first test of being a law student or a potential law student is actually in the selection process of your law school, of the university you intend to attend. Now, granted, for most of us, we would have heard about certain law schools or universities from our friends and colleagues. We would have done our own brief, superficial searches online, or perhaps there might have been a recommendation by a person that we admire, that we look up to, perhaps even a barrister or a solicitor. But the key here is not to look for the best law school, but the law school that is best for you. What I mean by this is that not every law school provides a cookie-cutter style of generic law degree that a student may want to go with. For instance, there are some law schools that do it quite traditionally in terms of their assessments and academia. You'll have some law schools or universities who prep students throughout an entire semester, and then they're examined or assessed by way of a 3 or 5 hour law exam. This might not be the best reflection, for example, if you are intending to enter into the legal fraternity as a practicing lawyer or a solicitor or a barrister. The reason is because in real life, the way that you're assessed or your performance is based not on being provided with a plethora of information over a number of months, let's say, and then examined in a closed book scenario within a couple of hours. A law school for a person who intends to go into the corporate sector or as a practicing solicitor or a barrister may be something in relation to a university that assesses or tests you on a periodic or a concurrent basis. What I mean by this is to opt for a university, for instance, that gives assignments, examinations, negotiation techniques, practice or mock trials, and so on, throughout the course of study. All of these factors would be unique to your own personal circumstance. The great thing about studying law in the contemporary context is that you are not pigeonholed, or you're not tunnel vision to one or two options. There are a number of different options, irrespective of the jurisdiction that you intend to practice in. So, to recap, the law school that you select should not be based on what you see online, the marketing guff, or what's been proliferated. It shouldn't even be based on the recommendation that you get, or something that you've seen from others. What it should be is what you personally feel is most appropriate to you. It's not about selecting the best law school out there, it's about selecting the best law school for you. If you're interested in finding out more about the different law schools as well as the academic pathways that are open to you, you might not be someone who wants to practice, you might be someone who wants to get into academia yourself. Do reach out through the links in the description below, and I'll be happy to help and guide you on which pathway to take in law. But Until the next time that we meet, have fun, stay safe, and as always, obey the law.